We have all witnessed siblings playing in a professional sport. By that, I mean 2 or more athletes who have worked hard to make it to the pros, and those athletes are related. We have witnessed a few siblings strive in sports. The Mannings, the Williams, and the DiMaggios, just to give a few examples. But 3 brothers who have been popular in the basketball world for the past few years have been the Ball brothers. With one guy who is told to be one of the best point guards in the league, to another one who has had so much potential and has proved it in his 3-year career, to another one who isn't as popular as the other 2, nor is he looked at as a good player. However, he still works hard and finds himself on a roster occasionally. Lonzo, LaMelo, and LiAngelo Ball are 3 brothers who've been very popular in the NBA world. They've all received their own praise, and people once believed one of these guys would be something special. But as of late, the Ball brothers have been going through a lot of problems. Lonzo Ball last played a professional basketball game on January 14th, 2022, and it looks like it will stay that way for a longer period. LaMelo Ball was one of the best point guards in the league last season. While he showed that this season, it wasn't as remarkable because he suffered ankle injuries all season long, which is now a new problem for him. And as for LiAngelo, he's worked hard to stay on an NBA roster but has yet to be successful. He is 24 years old and has still not played in an NBA game. I think you guys can kind of realize the puzzle I have built. Each Ball brother is going through a tough period of their career and life. And in today's video, we will be looking at each one of them to see how they've been struggling. Let's start off with the first brother who made it to the NBA, Lonzo Ball. It was chaos when people found out Lonzo Ball was going to be drafted soon. A lot of hype was put on the man since he was first recognized in basketball. He put up some of the best high school stats you will ever hear. 25 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists, and 5 blocks. He would then attend UCLA for a year, averaging 14, 7, and 6 per game. Scouts praised the man as they believed he had a bright future in the league. But probably the biggest factor to Lonzo's game people were discussing was his jump shot. Ball had one of the more awkward looking jumpers. It just didn't look or feel right. Plenty of people believed his jumper could affect his NBA career. And honestly, I don't mind those beliefs. This jumper looked odd and could be a huge advantage for defenders when guarding him, and a disadvantage for him as consistency was at stake. Nevertheless, the Los Angeles Lakers drafted him 2nd overall in 2017, making people believe he was going to turn the struggling Lakers into contenders. But once Lonzo Ball went on the court and started playing, that's when people regretted hyping him. In his rookie season, he kinda underperformed. Averaging 10 points, 7 assists, and 7 rebounds is alright, but it was nothing close to what people expected from him. People thought he would be Steph Curry with a 40-inch vertical, but that was not the case. Lonzo lasted 1 more season in LA until he was traded to the Pelicans. He was part of a blockbuster trade where the Lakers acquired Anthony Davis. Lonzo realized a couple of years into his career that his jump shot might have been a problem. So during the offseason, he worked into changing it and getting it right. And when looking at some photos, you can see how much of an improvement Lonzo made. He was shooting the ball more and his 3-point percentage increased from 30 to 37% after changing the jumper. Lonzo played 2 years of ball in New Orleans, and his best season was 2020-21, where he averaged 14 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds per game. That's an average season for a typical point guard, but for Lonzo, it's pretty good. During the offseason, Ball was involved in a sign and trade deal where he would be sent off to Chicago to play with the Bulls. Lonzo only played half the season with the team, and the reason why was because of an injury. Lonzo tore his meniscus in January and had to undergo surgery where he was bound to miss 6 to 8 weeks. But in April, it was announced he would not return and finish the season only playing 35 games. Things only go downhill from here. About a year later, the Bulls announced that Lonzo Ball would miss the 2022-23 season as he dealt with discomfort in basketball activities. The Bulls decided to play it safe and wait until he felt 100%. But sadly, they still need to find out when that day will come. Ball had a procedure in March and the surgery will make him miss most of next season. But if Lonzo's luck remains the same, he can miss yet another season of ball. Lonzo already has to deal with the fact he has not played an NBA game in a while and has to redeem himself. But now, he's also dealing with injuries, meaning he can very well turn into an injury-prone player. We must hope things turn around for the better, but Lonzo is going through a lot right now. At least his brother LaMelo already proved to the league how dominant he was. LaMelo Ball was already looking like a star in high school. In 2017, he dropped 92 points in a high school basketball game and became one of the most watched high school athletes in the US. He was destined to be great as plenty of people saw raw talent in him. Instead of going to college, LaMelo decided to go overseas and play in Australia. He played a season of ball and averaged 17 points with 7 assists and 7 rebounds. His stats were identical to Lonzo's. He would declare for the 2020 NBA draft and was selected 3rd overall by the Charlotte Hornets. Think about that. He would play for a team owned by the greatest basketball player of all time. LaMelo looked good in his rookie season, averaging 15 points, 6 assists, and 6 rebounds per game. Is pretty good. As a rookie, that's very good and very promising. Next season, LaMelo proved to the league what he was capable of. He made his first All-Star team and averaged 20 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds. He was looking sharp as he was progressing like crazy. He looked like the star in Charlotte that the team needed to build around. 2022-23 was supposed to be another year of greatness, but just like Lonzo, injuries prevented that. LaMelo suffered an ankle sprain during the preseason and missed about a month of ball. During the season, he was on and off, suffering more ankle injuries. It was on February 27th when it was all said and done. LaMelo took a bad fall and had everyone worried. He suffered a non-contact right ankle injury. You know it's bad if there was no contact during the injury. And it was then announced that he fractured his ankle, and on March 1st, he underwent surgery and was going to be out for the rest of the season. Ankle injuries are not something to mess around with. Plenty of NBA players' careers ended or were never the same because of repeatedly injuring their ankle. A prime example being Yao Ming. While Yao Ming was 7'6", it does not exclude the fact he was injury prone. LaMelo suffered a few ankle injuries throughout the season. If this continues, it will affect his legacy as he'll be known as an injury-prone player, and soon enough, his game will take a hit from it and he will never recover. Just like with Lonzo, let's hope things turn around. LaMelo has already proven so much in his 3-year career, and it would suck if all of that ended because of an ankle. We now come to the final Ball brother, LiAngelo. LiAngelo has had the most peculiar story of the three. For one, he is the least known Ball brother, and has been involved in some controversial events. LiAngelo's game was not looking as good as compared to his brother's. His scouting report looked mediocre, as he was projected to be a possible second-round pick. He could have been a better defender, and lacked athleticism. People compared his game to a quote-unquote shorter Adam Morrison and Bubba Wells. Adam Morrison is known as one of the biggest busts in NBA history, and Bubba Wells only played 1 season of basketball with the Mavericks where he averaged 10 minutes per game. The point is, the odds were against him. He went undrafted in 2018, but after working hard to make it on a roster, he was drafted 14th overall in the 2021 G League draft. The fact he wasn't even a top pick in the G League draft is concerning. LiAngelo has played 2 seasons of ball in the G League and is yet to look promising. He played 28 games last season and only played 13 minutes per game. This season, he only played in 3 games and 11 minutes per game. He did join the Charlotte Hornets Summer League roster, but needed to be better to make the roster. Like I said at the beginning of the video, LiAngelo Ball is now 24 years old, and he has still yet to play in an NBA game. His chances of making it to the league are decreasing day by day. He needs to work as hard as possible to get a chance at making it. But if you're asking me, it will take a miracle for LiAngelo Ball to make it on an NBA roster.